So we are back. It's been a while, I know, but yeah, Susuji in different climes, me in different climes, but we finally got the band together again. Susu, how are you? It's good to see you. Feeling cold, I
Mm.
see.
Oh yeah, you have to dress for your climate. So it's a bit chilly here, but
Oh,
it's not anything we can't handle.
it's a harsh welcome. You when you went, you were enjoying the summer. It's no longer summer, is it?
Oh, but you know me, I'm the winter. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. It's just a little snow. It's just just lay up, get your coats, get your jackets, dress well. You'll be fine. It's not fun, but you'll be fine.
Okay, yes, but it is good to see you and it's good to have you back. And
Yeah.
like in the period that we've been away, just trying to get things together. There's been a lot of conversation about bringing in uh, dual nationals to the Black Stars. I think there's been a very strong conversation about that. And just yesterday, I think Uganda called up Baba Alassane. A lot of people seem more
Yeah.
worked up about it. Frankly, I'd never heard of this chap um,
Yeah.
until Uganda called him up. I don't know why it's a big loss, but apparently it's a big loss because he plays in a position that Ghana currently needs players in. He's a central midfielder of the defensive orientation. So it's a big thing. But
I actually think that that's one of the positions you have a lot of players, in my opinion.
well, they
We
seem
have
to
a
think
lot.
that we don't have, a typical DM, which but I don't really think we need that type of mold anymore. I don't think we require that really. You just need somebody who is defensively aware and is able to play on and off the ball. Maybe he's that kind of player. Like I said, I don't know too much about him, so I'm not even going to try to say whether it's a big miss or not. But what do you make of all Jaden Owusu-Oduro, the goalkeeper, and Holland have called him up for another 21s? Some of these kids, we don't even know if they want to play for Ghana. But what's been your take on all the noise about bring back, we need these dual nationals in, not even those who have rejected, just the names that have been going around?
I feel like there's two parts to the conversation. There's how the fans feel,
Yeah.
right? And I feel like there's also the kind of, I don't want, it's outrage the right word. I feel like sometimes some of our colleagues in the community are generating some kind of clicks and outrage with some of these posts. But let's talk about the fans because they are the
Okay.
consumers of the phone. There's a section of the fans who feel like you've played the qualifiers, you've earned your spot at the World Cup, right? There's
Mhm.
also a section who feel we score the best player. So these two sections are clashing, which is why we are hearing some of the names coming up that, oh, this guy is there, go for him, this guy is there. Some people are saying that we'll go and call these people, they are not committed. They'll use Kevin Prince Boateng as an example. He played in the World Cup. He said he couldn't play qualifiers because the pitches weren't bad or whatever the story was. I can't remember. He barely played any qualifiers or whatever. Came back for the next World Cup. And then he kind of had his meltdown or whatever. And if you look at his Black Stars career, it's about two World Cups and what, 10 caps maybe?
Yeah.
If you look at it, it's not a lot. So people say that a lot of them are just opportunists who want to come and play in the World Cup, and then they'll go back and they don't care about Ghana. The other people are saying if they are good, they are good. We don't care about their loyalty. We want people to come on the pitch and perform. So whether they want to play. So I think that there's this clash between the fans. And I think that certain people are seeing some of these clashes and seeing that there's engagement and interest. So they'll go and farm some story that this person has said they are ready to play. They've spoken to family members. We are hearing all sorts of stories and things. When you actually look into it, some of these statements from families and players, it's a whole lot of nothing. Oh,
Mm.
I will play if I'm called upon. I've not had formal talks. What are you telling us? So I think that, and I feel like it's also not fair to some of these players because if you bring a story about I'm ready to play, I've consulted my family. Now it looks like you're interested, and now there's no contribution, no chop party. We say, you saw us qualifying, you didn't think you could, you didn't think it was good enough for you to come and play Comoros and Madagascar, but you want to go and play in the US and stuff, so you don't want to. Other people are saying, this guy is good. So I just feel like there's just a lot going on, and then so people are taking advantage of it and creating narratives which are unfair to the players. Because
Yeah, but hold
for
on.
me,
Just to also inform people, let me just run through the circumstances under which a player can become eligible to switch nationalities, just to, kind of give some meat to the point you are trying to make with regards to who can actually change nationalities, because sometimes a player is thrown in there and you know that one, he can't change nationality, or two, is he interested in changing nationality? And also, there has actually even been beef about Ghana Football Association and the speed with which they are able to do it, because people see the Francophone countries able to switch nationalities in like 2 months, and it takes Ghana like 6 months. So there are five circumstances. One, the player has played for the country, they are leaving only at youth level, and was already dual registered to the country that they are joining. And the language is very technical. So you have played for the country, you are leaving only at youth level, and you are already dual registered to the country that you are joining. So, for instance, like Jaden Owusu-Oduro, the goalkeeper that everybody is talking about, he can be eligible if he's only played for Holland under 21, which is the only thing he's done. But he must have also been dual registered. That means, as we speak, he must hold both Ghanaian and Dutch citizenship. We don't know whether he holds just Dutch citizenship or he holds both. The second one is the player has played for the country they are leaving only at youth level, was not dual registered to the country they are joining. Their last international appearance for the country they are leaving came prior to the age of 21 and meets Article 6 or 7 of FIFA's player eligibility guidelines. So that's the second phase. You have played for the country, you are leaving only at youth level, you are not dual registered to the country you are joining, and your last international appearance for the country you are leaving came prior to the age of 21. The player played for the country they are leaving at senior level, were dual registered with the nation they are joining, whilst making their debut for the nation they are leaving. And they have not played for the country they are leaving since before turning 21, and have not played more than 3 times for the country they are leaving at senior level. 3 years have passed since their last international appearance, and they have not played for their first nation at a major tournament. The language is just crazy. And then the fourth one, the player wishes to represent a nation that were not FIFA members when they made their debut for the nation they are leaving. They have not played for their first nation since the second nation became FIFA members, were either dual registered or obtained nationality with the nation they wish to join as soon as reasonably practical, and meets Article 6 or 7 of FIFA's player eligibility guidelines. And the last one is the player has played in a senior match for their first nation, but then permanently loses their nationality without their consent due to government authority, and holds the association they wish to represent. So these are the 5 circumstances. I think 1 and 2 are the ones that we will primarily be dealing with in terms of a lot of the players Ghana is talking about, right?
Yeah, I believe so. So, like I said, some of these things and the stories, it's not, and we also have to ask ourselves, just because this person is new and flashy, is it worth it? What do they add to the squad? Is it something we don't have? I think a lot of people maybe might see someone. I think a good example is Eddie Nketiah, not to call him out. He's playing for Crystal Palace. He's in the Premier League. So people are excited. Oh, this is a Premier League striker. Let's bring him. But you see, like I said, I think Nketiah is the most controversial. Yeah. Because he supposedly rejected us to go and play for England. Mm-hmm. Or he was called up for England. I don't think he's even played for England, if I remember. Yeah, he's not played yet. He was called up for a squad. He didn't play. I don't think he's been called up since, And see, I think for him, it's the worst one because he's also not doing particularly well at Crystal Palace right now. Because clearly Mateta is ahead of him.
Yeah.
And Mateta is playing very well. So his minutes are limited. So the whole thing... And what I don't like is that you hear people mention that Nketiah said this, Nketiah said that. When you go and look, there's nothing official. It's just, we spoke. I don't like those things because I feel like we should be fair to the players. Let the players come out and make an official statement, whether it's through their agents, something official that we can all look and see that from the horse's own mouth. Or, Nketiah does an interview. I want to play for the Black Stars. These are my reasons. I prefer, explain to us. Don't come and say you hate, and it just creates too much, kind of whispers and controversy. Then we have the other side. For example, is it Amuzu? Is that his name?
Yes. But
who supposedly said he wanted to play for Belgium, had a change of heart. And to be fair to him, the change of heart supposedly was a number of years ago when you actually look into the quotes. But there's this kind of, he said this thing about Belgium the first time. It's like he now wants to come. And this is exactly what I'm talking about, the outreach. He changed his nationality for 2, 3 years ago. We have not been interested. The World Cup has come. Someone has come to dig up the quotes, the 2 quotes, where he kind of said he wanted to play for Belgium. And the quotes where he now changed his mind, which was not even like just now, it was maybe a few years ago. To dig it out, come and say, this guy has seen him qualify for the World Cup and Belgium are calling him, see how he's changing. And that's why I don't like, because I feel like we should do better. We should really do better, because you see something like this. And that's what I mean by there's a lot of this kind of, some quote is taken out of context. Because if I remember correctly, even just a year ago, someone went to find some Nketiah interview from 2019 or 2 years ago to pass it off as an interview he had just done, that he wants to play for Ghana. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that that's always going on. So that's why I don't like the conversation, because there's a lot of misinformation and people are beating the players with sticks they don't deserve to be beaten with. So for me, I subscribe to let's choose the best players who fit the squad best. We shouldn't be too picky about whether they've played before or not, but we should also consider chemistry. So I don't want us to end up with 7 or 8 new players who've never played. Not because I don't want the best team, but clearly if we have a core group who Otuado wants to work with, bringing these characters in, we don't know how they react to the dressing room. You don't know what the chemistry will be like. So I'm not a fan of it. I think not because I'm into quotas or anything. I just feel like 3 or 4 should be the max, just because you are dealing with chemistry. So I think, for me, we should pick the best players, but we shouldn't go on this spree that, this guy is there, and just pick them for picking sake. We should be very calculated about who we pick and why we pick them.
But I also see the argument for long-term planning, not necessarily even for the World Cup, but just for long-term planning of the national team, where we can identify some of these talents a bit early, approach them with the project, and say, look, this is what we're doing. We've seen Senegal, for instance, be very successful at it. They just turned around Mbaye Kamara, whom the French national team had been sniffing around, and they said, look, come join us. And the player flipped, pretty early. This is not a player I'm sure they will use over the next 2 or 3 years, but perhaps in 5, 6 years, he will become a very crucial cog in the Senegal wheel. So I also see the argument perhaps for us putting ourselves in a position, and I think that is largely where the conversation should be geared towards for me, in the sense that, look, who can we get for the future? Who brings long-term value, right? Not necessarily for the now, but long-term, who can we get interested? We see that this player could have a high upside, and sell the project to them. It doesn't necessarily have to be, Ghana will make it to the World Cup, or it doesn't have to be Ghana as a second option. Go and sell your program, your project. Go and pitch it. It's national team football. This is Ghana. This is what we do. We are a grade A national team. We play the best of the best when the time is right. We give you visibility. We give you star attraction. And you can be as important a national team player playing for Ghana as you would be playing for a Spain, playing for a Holland, or playing for an England, one of those things. So I think it's a good conversation to have. The identification, though, needs to be better in terms of who are we picking, like you said, who is coming in at what positions, and having those conversations pretty early, maybe when they are 17, 18, rather than when they are 20, 21.
I don't even think we should even be going. I think even that's late. 17, 18 is late, in my opinion. It should be 15, 16 to be frank.
15, 16. You have to be extremely talented at 15, 16 to catch a national team A's attention.
But you see, that's why we have to start the scouts to even be trying to integrate them to under 20 and stuff. We should really, I get what you're saying, but that's what I'm saying. We should start early. We should even involve the high commissions and the embassies in some of these things, to be frank.
And to be kind of one thing I must add to this is I don't like the comparisons. I like comparisons, but I don't like the comparisons that we get with our setup compared to the Senegalese, the Malians, the Burkinabes, the Moroccans, the Algerians. Look, anybody who's lived abroad will tell you the connection and a Franco-Arab has to his Arab side is more than the connection most Ghanaian born or most foreign born Ghanaians have to Ghana. Most of them will not have come to Ghana until they are 15, 20, or 16. Most of them would have come to Ghana perhaps once in their formative years. These Arab kids, they go home regularly, or they live in large Arab communities where they eat their home food, they speak the language. So primarily, they might have been born in Belgium, born in Holland, born in France, but basically they are living in Morocco, or they are living in Algeria, or they are living in
exactly.
Egypt.
We don't have big enough communities for
Exactly.
that. Compared
So
a good,
the connection that they
100%.
feel to their homelands is very different from the connection our boys will feel to us. So it's pretty easy for the Moroccan FA to walk up to an Omar Mama or a Zaibri and say, look, come and play for us. His biggest idols when he walks through where he lives are all Moroccan. His biggest idols are not French people, they are not Belgians, they are not German, they will be Moroccan. So they want to have that achievement. We don't have that. So the same for, I mean, a young Senegalese footballer growing up sees Sadio Mane, sees, all kinds of sees Khalidou Koulibaly, and
Exactly.
and like feels like these are big boys, and they also have that connection. So I don't think it's as hard for them. I think for us it's pretty difficult, and it's something that we must admit to. I think that the fans sometimes don't understand this, and even us as journalists, I think sometimes we don't take that cultural connection into context when we make the argument about, oh, this person should just come and play for us. Look at how easy it is for Morocco. Look at how easy it is for Algeria. There is a reason why it is easy for them.
And the truth is, the time we should have kind of capitalized was 2011, 2012, right after the 2010 World Cup. Because everyone knew Ghana. Our story was one of the stories of the World Cup. That, this African team was about to make the semi-finals and quote unquote Suarez robbed them and stuff. If we had started working on some of the younger generation at that point, it would have changed the trajectory of this conversation. Because imagine if now we have a stronger foothold in Germany and the Netherlands. Because I think that's where we have a lot of people, Germany and the Netherlands. We have a strong foothold there. We kind of put our foothold there.
And the
UK as well. Yeah. But I think Germany and the Netherlands, the EU stuff is a lot easier. Now the UK are going to do their own thing. If we are going to put ourselves strong in that Germany, Netherlands, Belgium kind of area right after the 2010 World Cup, and we're a bit more proactive in getting some of the younger players who had Ghanaian citizenship, who had Ghanaian parents, Ghanaian citizenship right after that World Cup, we'd have a lot more dual nationals in, right? And that will also even show the dual nationals we continue to look for that there's a pathway. Because you might see this guy who was born in Germany, played for Germany under 15, under 16 maybe, who switched, came and started playing under 20, has graduated to the national team, he's become a kind of senior player because of that World Cup. But we didn't do anything with it. We didn't capitalize on it. So that opportunity where we are kind of, everyone knew about us, everyone was talking about us, because that's part of it as well. Because if you are selling something to these people who don't have that necessarily cultural connection, just being in the World Cup will help. Because we always find out that this person is Ghanaian. Because when did Memphis Depay kind of become prominent? We come and find out later that Memphis Depay is Ghanaian. No one was talking about it until he said, maybe I think that around the time he started doing his trips to Ghana to do his charity.
Oh no, I mean Memphis. I have been perhaps Memphis back in the day. There had been coverage around Memphis and his Ghanaian origin pretty clearly. So, but it was also pretty clear where he was going to play because of again very high profile as a teenager. 17, 18, Memphis was a star. So it was pretty clear where he was going to go.
But you see what I mean? We have started that work. Like I said, 15, 16, maybe there would have been an opportunity to kind of sell the project. And that's what I mean. Like some of these things come out because now the new one is Romeo Lavier's mother or something is Ghanaian. I don't know if you heard this one. And I think up and become big. We're even trying this at Southampton, right? Why are we now having this conversation after he become a Chelsea player? After Chelsea and Liverpool have chased him for big money. Why weren't we having this conversation when he was in the City Academy?
And
you see what I'm saying?
Even if we decided to, if indeed there is a Ghana connection, and I can't confirm the Ghana connection, and it has to become a fight between Ghana and the DRC. Let's even put Belgium aside. It has to become a
Yeah,
fight between Ghana and the DRC. We are losing to the DRC.
exactly. But that's my whole point, that when you start work early, you sell the project. Because with all due respect to the DRC, I don't think they are someone I would say are more organized than us. We have our problems, but I don't think they are so organized compared to, let's say, a Morocco or Senegal, that we can't show them a project. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
I
We
get
have
you,
our issues. They
but
have our
again, it's the
issues.
connection. Susu is the connection. A Belgium, DRC, a Congo kid who grows up
In
in
Belgium,
Belgium, there are a
yeah,
lot of those in that country.
Congolese people around.
They have a fantastic community. So
No, but
he speaks his languages, he eats their food.
and that's my whole point about and that's why I'm coming back to what you said about selling the project. You can sell the project to someone that you are Ghanaian to. Look at Michael Essien, look at this. You can sell something, and that's how I feel about it. I think we should take the club side approach. We have a project, we have someone who goes around talking to people, because it could make a difference. I'm not expecting us to pick up every promising dual national, but there'll be some who we might be able to say, who might see national team football not as a national pride thing, but as a career thing, that, okay, what's the best platform for me to play international football and get recognition? And because they might think that, okay, if I play for Belgium, I'll get 15 caps. If I play for DRC, I might get 100 caps, but DRC might never win the AFCON or go to the World Cup whilst I'm there. Ghana might be a nice medium where I might go to the World Cup, I'll get 60, 70 caps. I might be able to win the AFCON. So there's some people who are maybe that's calculating about their careers. So it's not even about the connection, selling them something, because the truth is, even if they are not playing for national pride and they are playing for themselves, they know that a good performance, that tournament, it raises your stock. Everyone knows this. That's why there's all this lobbying for the World Cup. So I feel like there's different approaches to this. I don't think there's what's the word I'm looking for? There's a right answer. I feel like there's a lot of right answers. I understand that people who are dedicated, who are passionate, who are patriots to come and play. I get it, because maybe that extra 10% that they'll give might not be there for someone who's there for a career, a career move, who's there because they are doing a job. I also understand that. But if that 10% is not going to make you better than the career person, what's the point? So all of those things have to be considered. So I think it's a very nuanced and interesting discussion, but I don't think there's right answers. But I just want the best possible players who are reasonably interested. I think that's also important. I don't think we should be begging anyone to play either. I don't think, because it's not by force. It's a privilege, quote unquote. So,
all right. So that's it for that conversation, Susu. And hey, for those of you watching, thank you for watching. As always, you can hit the like and subscribe button, and community continues to grow. And we have just a few minutes to go, but let's talk quickly about Big Star Teenagers and the CIS, which is basically the big boss of rules and stats when it comes to game, have been ranking the most valuable teenagers. And yeah, of course, there's only one teenager who's going to be the most valuable. Whether you like it or not, nobody's going past Lamine Yamal. If you watched him in the middle of the week, I always say, those of you haters, like somebody I'm looking at right now across the pond somewhere and other
just
places.
Because I didn't want him to win the Ballon
d'Or. Those of you haters across the pond.
Because I didn't want him to win the Ballon d'Or.
There is no better manipulator of a football now than that 18-year-old kid at Barcelona. Whether Barcelona win, whether Barcelona lose. But hey, this is about the other teenagers on the list.
And that's all fine, but he shouldn't win the Ballon d'Or. That's all fine, but he shouldn't win the Ballon d'Or.
What was Endrick doing on that list? That kid looks lost.
It's all about that. You see, that's why I say some of these values and lists, market value is a lot of hype. Market value and ability are not necessarily correlated, because, like you said, Endrick looks lost. Endrick has not played a game this season. Endrick has not really performed to the expectations of Real Madrid. Frankly speaking, it's a lot, because if you are Endrick and you go into this Real Madrid dressing room and you come at the same time as Kylian Mbappe, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult for you, who is supposedly a number 9, for him who's also come to play number 9. Because he and Vinicius Jr. both can play on the left wing. I've never seen two left wingers play on a team before. So someone has to move around. If I'm Endrick, to be honest, in this team, his future is on the right wing. That's the spot that's up for grabs. But now, Mastusan, how do you pronounce it? Mastu Antonio. Thank you very much. You know, I can't speak Spanish, so thank you very much. Right now, he seems to be the starting right winger, and on our list, he's number 4. And that's the hype, because you would think that a player would, if he was still at River Plate, he probably would not be this high. But that's what I mean about some of these values. You have to also take the fact that it's where you play, who you play for, even your nationality matters, you know. So a lot of these things are very interesting.
But let me quickly run through the list. So it's a list of the most valuable teenagers. It's not necessarily a list of who is the best player. It's just the most valuable. And so Lamine Yamal is up there. He's valued at 350 million. William Esteval, I think clearly just. What is Pau Kubasi doing so high at number 3?
You see what I'm saying? You are not impressed by Kubasi, but he plays for Barcelona.
Of course.
I think he's been capped for Spain and all of that. So, you know, it's all part of the hype. But I think I'm not sure. You see, centre-back prospects right now, I'm not sure about them. Maybe I'm a bit old.
Hold on for me. How is Ethan Nwaneri and Miles Lewis Skelly ahead of even Jorel Hato is ahead of Lenny Yoro? Come on. How?
But that's because Manchester United looks like a mess. So it's
kind of this is valuation. It's not talent. But
that's what I'm saying. That's what has quote unquote tanked his value, because if he was playing for Real Madrid, if Lenny Yoro had gone to Real Madrid and had kind of now, you know, integrated himself into the first team, he'd have a similar value as Pau Kubasi.
Yeah, but what is Jorel Hato doing so high? Jorel Hato, Chelsea's Jorel Hato from Ajax. What's he doing so high?
Well, that's exactly the point. The academy are coming from matters. So I think sometimes these lists, we should also understand how much hype plays into them. A lot of this about hype. Because look at Warren Zaire-Emery.
He hasn't been good for a whole year.
Yeah, he didn't even play anymore. If he comes in, maybe they'll play my right back. Or the day that Luis Enrique says he's resting his midfield, then he'll play. So, I feel like these lists, it just shows you who's hyped, who's well-known. It doesn't show you about who's performing, who is going to explode. It just really shows you who people are talking about.
All right.
I think the only player who, if I look at him here, the 2 players at the top, I think we are seeing their talents. They are performing. They are showing their levels. The rest of them, I'm not 100% sure where they should rank. In Nwaneri, we see flashes here and there. I think Miles Lewis Skelly, I think can feel hard done by, because he was Arsenal starting left back all of last season. If you ask me, when we talk about teenagers and their performances over the last year at the very least, should be high up there for sure. I think he should be just as high as most of these guys.
All right, then. So this is all our time will allow us, but we are back, definitely back. The band is back together, so keep checking out our channel. We'll be back with more episodes. So don't get too cold on me.
Oh, don't worry.